everyone. I'm Chris.
And I am Dan.
And welcome to the first episode of Button Mash Dad's Mash Movies.
That's right. We're mashing movies now. Not just buttons. Now we're mashing the movies.
But we obviously have to keep it video game related.
Right. So I think most of the movies we're going to pick will be video game related somehow. We'd like to mostly do ones that are like adaptations of classic video games, but there might be some that are only about people playing video games. So, but everything will be video game related on this subtopic. This side quest we're doing here, mashing the movies for y'all.
I love side quests. So for round one,
yes,
we are going to do the original Street Fighter movie from 1994.
Oh, baby. Okay, I was really excited for this one. I've seen the Mortal Kombats, and I always wanted to see this one, but it always kind of escaped me until now. And I'm really glad we did.
So you never saw it as a kid?
No, never saw it as a kid. I remember seeing the posters, the commercials, and the video game they made based on this, which was kind of bizarre. They made the version, or they kind of stole the Mortal Kombat technique of like digitizing the actors. And I remember playing it as a kid and being like, this is really clunky and not caring for it.
Let's just dive right into that, because I didn't know that they did it. Apparently, and this, according to the internet, which is never wrong,
right,
it was the only video game based on a movie based on a video game.
Right. That's like just
layers upon layers.
Right. That's like a nesting doll right there.
Yeah, nesting doll of sadness.
Yeah.
But obviously based on Street Fighter 2, the very popular Capcom game.
Even though it is called the Street Fighter movie, it is based on Street Fighter 2, which caused a little confusion for me and my wife earlier when I was like, we're going to be talking about Street Fighter 2 movie. And she's like, don't you mean the Street Fighter movie? And I was like, well, it's technically the Street Fighter 2 movie, even though it's, I don't know, it gets confusing. But yes, this movie is based more on the plot of the second game, the more iconic one we all love.
Yes, and in case you're living under a rock, Street Fighter 2, highly popular Capcom arcade
incredibly
game.
Popular, influential, basically invented the one-on-one fighting genre in itself.
And popularized it to the moon. So Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo made millions and billions of
gobs
bucks.
Of money, yes.
Yeah, printed money for Capcom. Then the home console release did the exact same thing. So might as well do a movie, right?
Exactly.
And so let's jump back to 1994. So when we're talking about great cinema, video game movies weren't really that good. I believe 2 years prior, the Super Mario movie came out, the live action one, which has been universally panned, and rightfully so.
Right. And I was reading a little bit that movie had some influence on the creators of this movie, because they didn't want it to turn out like that one did, which was like so far from the source material that they were like, we got to be a little bit more accurate.
And I'm excited to dive into the Mario movie more, but we're going to stay on topic with
Street Fighter.
With Street Fighter. So on paper, talking about the history of it, Capcom, with the success of the franchise, wanted to make more money with it and sought out Hollywood. Hollywood thought it would be great. So they got Steven De Souza, who, I didn't know this, he wrote Die Hard.
Wow, yeah, the Die Hard guy. Okay.
He wrote Commando, and then he did The Hardy Boys for TV. He did The $6 Million Man. He did Knight Rider. So when you're talking about
success under his belt,
you're talking about a guy that has a lot of success with TV and movies. Here's your guy in the 90s. You get him right at the peak. So Capcom got him and thought, oh, this is going to be our guy to do it. His one thing is he wanted to direct it, which, okay, sure, right? So They released it on December 1994. They had a $30 million budget. It made over $100 million.
So successful, not a flop. I mean, maybe not as much as they would have liked, but that's still profitable.
Sure. So it was a success financially. However, like most video game tie-in movies, it was absolutely panned by critics.
Yeah.
We'll give our thoughts on it. We're just talking about what other professionals...
The general feel at the time.
Yeah. So De Souza wanted to, because there were 19 characters at the time.
Right, because at this point we
Capcom
also had
universe.
Super Street Fighter 2, which introduced the 4 new ones.
Right. So there were plenty of characters to choose from within the universe. Capcom wanted more characters in it. D'Souza said, nah, the magic formula is 7.
Right.
And he truly believed that. Like, you got, the 7 deadly sins.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of things that go around the number 7. So he's like, let's stick with 7. So they picked the 7 characters that they ended up going with, and they're recognizable ones, right? Like M. Bison,
right, all the main
Guile,
ones.
So you get all the major ones. However, they did divert from the lore of Street Fighter. But to be fair, Street Fighter 2 games really didn't have much lore back then.
Yeah, that's true. You pretty much had what was in the manual, and in Street Fighter's case, you had the endings were probably like the main source of the lore. You know, when you beat a game with a character, you saw their specific ending. Yeah. And that was, I think, where most of the lore was gleamed. But yeah, that was something that kind of bugged me with the movie at first, was kind of the lore problems. And you're right, back then lore was not nearly as important as it is now in the era of like fan fiction and people like poring over the lore.
Yeah. And like you said, there really wasn't much other than a paragraph end sequence to go off of.
Right.
But D'Souza really wanted this to be kind of like a James Bond-esque movie. That was his words.
I kind of picked up on that as I was watching it. I felt like M. Bison actually kind of wound up like a James Bond villain. Did you feel that way?
That's actually a good way to put it. I really want to give my thoughts on the actor that played M. Bison, Raul Julia,
yes,
who,
in his final performance.
Yes, absolutely. Honestly, I think he nailed it. We will dive into that. Yeah. We will dive into that. Rest in peace, Raul Julia. But he wanted to go in that James Bond-esque direction, and apparently so did Capcom. Yeah, that's why they were picked to do it. So D'Souza had a lot of ideas in mind. He really wanted this to be the $30 million budget was considered modest, but D'Souza's like, okay, I can use that money to train these guys on martial arts and then craft a good story and go from there. So things started to go awry when they did casting. Obviously, they got Julia, who he commanded a little bit of money because he did a lot of theater acting. He has done some movies.
He had been coming off of being Gomez in the Addams Family movies.
Yep. Yes, so he was well known. Yeah. And if you know anything about the movie, you know that he did this movie on the request of his kids, because his kids like the games, and he knew he was dying. Yeah, he was being treated for stomach cancer while it was filming. And in fact, the costume designer, no one knew that he was dying. When the costume designer saw how thin and frail he was, they were like, "Uh-oh. How are we going to do a fighting movie when the main villain looks so sick?" However, I will say that Raul did deliver. We'll dive into him. Yes, I want to do a special subsection on him. Yep. But so they wanted a big star, and the biggest action star at that moment coming out of Time Cop with that success was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yes, and they apparently blew a very big portion of the budget just getting Van Damme. I forgot the exact number.
I don't know the number either, but you were right.
But I think of the $30 million budget, like $7 million at least was just for Van Damme. I have to look that up. But so he was kind of, that's why he's all over the posters and everything. He was kind of like the attraction, the meal ticket for the movie.
And Van Damme actually brought a lot of challenges onto the set. We'll dive into that. I just kind of want to finish the movie itself. So diving in a little bit to making the movie, they had to cut a lot of stuff. Obviously, they played around with the lore a little bit. That didn't bother me, but whatever. The filming locations were bad. There was threats of government shutdowns and war, so that made filming difficult. And near the end of the movie, They like you said, they did blow through a lot of the budget. Some of the cast members, a lot of them didn't get along with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And most of the movie, like a lot of the explanations of the movie ended up on the cutting room floor. They really didn't get to do a lot of fighting. They had one guy train.
I was going to say that later. That'll be part of my criticism of the movie. Yeah. But yeah, so not a lot of street fighting in this Street Fighter movie, but that's fine.
They had one guy training everybody on how to do the fighting, but they all looked like they were fighting the same style. Right. So no uniqueness to it. But at the end, obviously the movie panned by critics, but it made $100 million. The biggest thing is they really wanted it to be PG-13 to kind of attract young audiences like us thinking, oh, this is cool. But it got an R rating at first.
Right. This is probably my funniest piece of trivia I found out about the movie. Did you hear this? So the first cut was rated R. Then the studio cut it down, cut out some of the violence, and it came back and it was rated G. So what they did to bump the rating up to seem more like an adult film is they added one swear in post-production.
Yeah, they had Jean-Claude say the S word.
Right, and that boom, bumped it up
PG-13.
to PG-13. I mean, without that, this might have premiered on Nickelodeon or like Disney Family back in the 90s. So that is just hysterical. I've never heard of that before, like them actually intentionally trying to get a harder rating. So that was funny.
I didn't know that it was that close to... that is funny. That I read that too, and I thought that was hilarious. Right. But movie came out. It was dedicated to the memory of Raul Julia, who did succumb to stomach cancer.
Yes, he did wind up passing away before it came out, which is a tragedy. But what a way to go out! I mean, he chewed the scenery on his way out and made a really lovable villain. Yeah,
let's really talk about him.
Okay, let's get into him.
I really felt like this movie, I feel like all the actors really took their roles seriously as like movie actors. Raul Julia came in there almost Shakespearean.
Yeah,
right?
I would say so.
He's acting in a theater in front of a crowd. He brought that kind of a performance. And I think any other role, any other genre, it would be super campy. But for this role, it really worked. For M. Bison, the role it looked like he was trying to make him seem like this crazy egomaniac villain.
Imposing,
and it worked. It worked so well. He was a great villain.
Too. And going back to it, so if the goal was to make a James Bond movie, I think they inadvertently created the first ever incarnation of Dr. Evil from the Austin Powers movies in a way. I mean, like, his entire plan is very Dr. Evil-esque. He wants to create super soldiers, and he literally holds the world ransom for $20 billion.
Let me cut you off. So I was watching this with my 12-year-old. Yeah. And I swear to you, I almost rewound it, but I didn't. I wish I did. When we first watched it, I swear to you, he asked for $20 million.
Was it million? Might have been billion.
Apparently it was billion, because they did say billion later on. Yeah. But we both stopped and looked at each other like, wait, what?
Like, $20 million isn't exactly a lot of money
to save the world. Like, yeah, here you go, dude. But even now, like $20 billion, he kind of scoffed at that too. Like, that's it, dude.
Well, I mean, and he even has a one-eyed henchman in Sagat. Yeah. So, I mean, all he's missing is like a kitten with no hair to stroke, and then boom, Dr. Evil. But I think his take on Bison was really great. Yes. Like you were saying, he's like imposing in like a theatrical kind of way.
Like when he was talking to, I believe it was Chun-Li, when he was telling her, she gives this whole sob story of how you killed my family.
This is the line of the movie.
Oh, dude, for you, it was the most important day of your life, but for me, it was a Tuesday. Dude, that is so hard.
The line of the movie, yes.
I looked at my son, I'm like, yo, that line hit. That was good.
Yeah, I know.
The more the movie went on, like in the beginning, you're like, all right, this is just some campy 90s movie. Right. But the more it went on, I liked it. It wasn't great, obviously. Like,
no. This was not
some cinematic masterpiece.
Right. This was not Gone with the Wind here or anything.
No.
Or Casablanca.
No, not at all. Not A Streetcar Named Desire.
No.
But Street Fighter was
certainly not Citizen Kane. No. But Maybe it was the Citizen Kane of arcade brawler adaptations of the 90s. I don't know.
Well, you don't have much to pick from.
Right.
But honestly, at the end of it, I liked the movie. I really do feel like Raul Julia really kind of made that movie and
I think
saved
so.
it.
Yeah, I think he
so
saved
good.
it. Yeah.
Like, he treated it like this was going to be his Oscar.
I mean,
to me.
yeah, basically. I mean, well, knowing him, he knew his end was coming, or
He did.
suspected, so he really gave it his all with gusto on this one. I mean, I also kind of felt like when the movie first started, I thought we were in for an absolute catastrophe train wreck.
Yes,
I was like, why is Chun-Li a reporter? Mm-hmm. Why does Balrog and E. Honda work with her? Like, why the heck are they reporters?
Balrog's a cameraman?
Right.
And like, a production truck?
I know we were talking about the lore isn't that important, but still, like, DJ, the breakdancing Jamaican, and Zangief work for Bison. Like, what?
Zangief, I could see.
I can see Zangief, but DJ, like, in the game, he's always, like, smiling and he's, like, shaking maracas when he wins. Like, there's not an ounce of evil in him, I feel like. But anyway. And then, like, Dalzim, for some reason, is a scientist, not a yoga master.
And here's what bothers me.
And he has hair.
He has hair.
Why does he have hair?
But then at the end of the movie, like the last scene with him and Blanca, his hair's gone.
I was wondering what happened. Did his hair get burnt off in a fire?
No.
I turned away. I think I looked at my phone for a sec. I looked back. Dalzim's got no hair.
I can tell you what happened.
Enlighten me.
It was a cut scene.
Oh,
this was one of the cutting room floor things that explained everything.
Interesting.
So apparently what happened, he was so mad that he created this abomination that he ripped his hair out.
Okay, that's
there was
kind
a
of a
scene
stretch.
where he's literally ripping his hair out. That's why. And I thought too, when you can see there's one part where the glow in the dark chemicals sprayed on his arm. I'm like, oh, here comes some CGI.
Nope.
No 90s CGI.
The glow-in-the-dark chemicals that look suspiciously like Kool-Aid.
Yeah, or Nickelodeon Solar Gag.
Right, basically. But anyway, to get back to it, when the movie started, I was like, these characters feel so wrong, so inauthentic. Mm-hmm. But then the movie does kind of explain away a little bit of it. Like, Balrog and E. Honda are basically just undercover because they want to get Bison and stop him. And some of the other stuff. I mean, like, at least it explains something, by the end. You know who we haven't mentioned yet, actually? Ken and Ryu.
Yes.
What did you think about Ken and Ryu in this movie? Now, normally, they're kind of more portrayed as the protagonists of the Street Fighter games, but in this one, they're kind of more supporting characters.
See, that's what my son had told me, too. He was kind of surprised that they were kind of backup, kind of goofball characters instead of actual fighters. It didn't bother me.
Right.
Sorry to say, and I'm sure there's some peers out there that really hated it. But it didn't bother me. Mm-hmm. I thought their first scene with the toy guns was kind of campy, but
yeah, that was when I was still in the mode like, oh god, this movie's going to be a train wreck. But
I thought so too.
But yeah.
But do you know that somebody else was supposed to be playing Ryu?
Yeah. Which, by the way, they do that thing in the movie, too, where some people call him Ryu, some people call him Ryu. It's kind of like how in Star Wars, everyone either calls him Han Solo or Han Solo. There's no, universal pronunciation. I wish they would have picked one or the other and stuck with it. But anyway, sorry, go back to your point, Chris.
No, you're good. So Capcom really wanted another actor to play, I'm going to call him Ryu moving forward. Can we just agree with this?
I always call him Ryu, but I guess we're going to be like the movie. You say Ryu, I say Ryu. You say potato, I say potato.
So we are going to do that. I'm trying to look up the name of the actor, but...
Okay. But so they wanted a bigger name, like Jackie Chan caliber or something like that.
This was like some unknown guy, but he was big in Japan.
Oh, okay. All right.
So they really wanted this Japanese actor to do it. I'm scrolling feverishly.
Trying to find it. Yeah, that's okay.
But the problem is with the actor, he couldn't speak pretty much a lick of English.
Oh,
His English was really bad.
Yeah, you kind of need that.
Yeah, you kind of need that.
Yeah.
But the good news is he is in the movie, and I'm wondering if you know who he is.
No, I didn't catch it. Who did he play?
He was a new character for the series.
Oh,
Who
okay.
wasn't introduced in any video game. He was introduced in the movie. So his name was Kenya Sawada. Was the name of the actor.
Sawada. Okay. Oh, yes, as Captain Sawada. I was wondering about that character. I was like, why is this guy in the movie?
He was the one that Capcom wanted to be right.
Interesting.
And they were like, no, we're going to give it to Byron Mann, who can speak perfect English, chiseled like a stone. And I thought he did well with it.
I thought he was fine as a supporting character. If he had been the lead, I would have been like, he's pretty vanilla boring.
Yeah.
But since he was more of a supporting character, I thought he did a good job with that. Yeah.
And you know what really surprised me was, and I'm scrolling for names here, who was in the movie. The main female opposite.
Oh, are you talking about Cammy?
Yes.
Played by one of my all-time favorite singers, Kylie Minogue.
Kylie Minogue, thank you. Name was on the tip of my tongue.
Yes.
I was so surprised when I saw that in the credits.
Can't get you out of my head.
Yes.
Yep.
I was so surprised.
Yeah.
Like, I thought there's no way it's the same person.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Supposedly, I was reading they cast her primarily because they shot the film in Australia, and she is Australian.
She is Australian,
So they were like, we want to get an Australian. I thought she was pretty good as Cammy. I don't think she got a lot to do other than basically be like Guile's main sidekick. Yeah. Which again, like Cammy is not typically related to Guile. She has kind of a very complicated backstory. I think she's technically a clone of M. Bison in the games, but that would have been a little weird for a movie. They might not have even established that yet at this point.
They don't have time to explain.
Okay, she's Guile's sidekick. Sure, why not?
So let's talk about the main actor of the movie, Jean-Claude Van Damme. There's a lot to say about him.
Yes. You know, what I found kind of funny is they kind of almost gave him the Arnold Schwarzenegger treatment, where like
how so?
His character, like, he's American. He's Guile in the video games. He's so American. He's got his American tattoo and he fights in front of a military base.
And speaks with the worst accent.
Right. Yeah. But, he has a terrible, like a shoddy American accent, but his character is supposed to be like as American as apple pie.
Yeah. Like you said, the Arnold Schwarzenegger treatment.
American. Like it brings to mind like Jingle All the Way for me, where he plays like a character, what's his name? Howard. And he's like this, he's supposed to be a guy from Minnesota, but he's like, I got to get Turbo Bomb. Yeah. Like, this is American.
Wasn't he like a salesman or something?
Right, a mattress salesman. Yeah.
Okay, buddy.
All right. But anyway, I thought he was okay, other than I wish he would have tried harder to nail the American accent instead of.
Well, so funny story. Did you know, and this is according to D'Souza, the director.
Sure.
Jean-Claude Van Damme had a massive cocaine problem.
Okay. All right. Didn't most celebrities in the 80s and early 90s, I guess?
Well, he apparently was blowing through $10,000 a week in drugs and alcohol.
That is insane. That's a lot.
And he was a prima donna on set, would stay in his trailer, would hold up filming.
Oh, boy.
He was a problem child.
Oh, geez. I did not read that.
One of the many reasons that production kept getting delayed. I think I read that D'Souza said after 10 days of shooting, they were 6 days behind.
Oh,
so that's why they had to rip up a lot of the script.
Oh, okay.
But Van Damme has admitted he had problems.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, after I read that, who else would you get in the 90s to play that role?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who else was hot at the time that they could have grabbed? But, I mean, you think about it. Arnold Schwarzenegger, maybe.
Right.
But, I mean, Jean-Claude Van Damme was white hot as an actor.
Yeah, he was very hot. He was probably... he was a rung below Arnold, but he was like about the closest you could get to Arnold at that point.
Yes, yeah. So he was your budget version of Arnold, really. But I mean, I can't think of anybody else. I mean, Tom Cruise was kind of young still.
Like Stallone, you probably don't want to cast Stallone.
I'm
Guile. I gotta save the day. Parson going down.
What you do,
Well,
Actually, now I kind of want.
yeah, I'd like to see that movie. Actually, maybe we'll have AI do a type of prompt like
God bless
Stallone, Guile.
Yeah.
You know, as much as I didn't care for his accent and hearing behind the scenes, he was a real pain to work with. I thought Jean-Claude worked for this because I thought this was basically like Street Fighter filtered through the lens of like a brain dead 90s action movie a la Commando or Rambo or something like that. So for this, I thought he actually worked well. Yeah.
Hearing you say that, yeah, I get it. It's kind of like the historic timepiece of like, if you were to make an action movie in the 90s, who would you put it? And yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme does fit that mold. 100%.
Definitely.
So what else can we say about the movie? Like I said, it made over $100 million at the box office. There were no talks of a sequel.
Yeah, no, I guess it didn't quite make enough money to get a Street Fighter 2, which would have, like I was saying earlier, even more confusing. Call the next one Street Fighter 2.
Probably.
Well, I want to talk about one thing.
Yeah.
So this movie is a little corny and a little campy and a little cheesy. But I think my favorite thing about the corny cheesiness is the vehicle, the stealth boat.
Oh, let's talk
when
about
the stealth boat appeared on screen. I just absolutely lost my mind laughing. It was so funny.
It's stealthy, but the guy's name is on the side of the boat.
Right? It's oh my God.
That was so funny.
I was just like, what? Why is it a stealth boat? And it never went into like stealth mode or anything.
Oh,
it did. It had a loud mode. Oh yeah, that's right. You're right.
You can see the waves splashing out.
Yeah.
And it's on the screen. You can see waves splashing out. Like, gee, I wonder what that is. Like, and Bison's not stupid.
Right. But I did read behind the scenes after watching the movie that the reason they had to make it a stealth boat is originally they wanted it to be a stealth copter, but the area they were filming in was like having some like war and skirmishes and stuff, and they were worried if they had a stealth, maybe they couldn't make it stealthy enough, if it was a stealth copter and they were worried about getting involved in some war, maybe getting Jean-Claude Van Damme blown up. So well,
and apparently that was a problem, that ongoing threat of war, where the only way they can move stuff, like people, props, and set pieces, was by the river.
Right.
And that caused a lot of problems. So it's funny. This movie, it's not that bad. It could have been better.
It could have been better,
That's the crazy part.
Could have been a lot worse, and hearing about a lot of the stuff they had to deal with behind the scenes. And also, I read that Capcom was very firm, like, you got to get it out by the holiday season because they wanted to catch the holiday money in the U.S. So they dealt with a lot of problems, Raul Julia being frail and, one foot in the grave and like just a ton of problems. But I mean, all that being said, it is a campy movie. It is a little cheesy. You got to kind of pull your brain out of your head to really enjoy it.
Yes,
but it is fun. It's a fun movie. I had a good time. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't call it Shakespeare. I wouldn't call it Citizen Kane, but I did enjoy it.
It's not the worst movie I watched.
Right.
I actually, after the movie was over, I looked at my son. I'm like, that actually wasn't that bad. And he agreed.
Yeah.
He thought it was going to be so cringy and so bad. And trust me, that was in there. But you could tell that they really did try. D'Souza did try to make this as good as possible. And I feel like he did.
Yeah.
Given everything that happened, given all the problems behind the scenes, it actually worked out. A lot of people complained that the characters weren't in the right outfits until the very last scene.
That actually bugged me too. I was gonna bring that up. That Ryu and Ken didn't get in their gis until midway through the movie.
Yeah,
and Capcom did also make an animated Street Fighter movie that came out the same year. Yeah. And I have not seen it, but future MASH Movies episode, I think maybe we contrast the two, because I'm sure that one, being an anime, is probably a lot more faithful.
I heard,
and they can actually shoot Hadoukens. Apparently Hadoukens were not in the budget, is what I read.
Oh, didn't you see? They shot one, right?
Well, he made the hand move, but no blue.
And you heard there was a sound effect. I think there was a sound effect. It sounded like there was a sound effect.
Interesting.
But yeah,
I didn't hear the sound effect, but
so this is what
I don't have surround sound. I'm watching on a cheap.
Oh, please! I watched it upstairs on my cheap TV too.
Right.
Here's what bothered me though.
Yeah.
What bothered me the most, and I understand the why, but all the fight scenes were shot super tight, super up close.
Right.
there really were no establishing wide shots of fighting. There weren't a lot. There was like one or two for the M. Bison and Guile fight.
Which was mostly M. Bison on a wire floating around, possibly a stunt double.
They did like one with like the big screen in the background. It looked really good. I'm like, oh, they could have held that for longer. But again, Julia's sick. I get it. But everything was up close. Everything was really tight.
Yeah.
And it moved at such a frantic pace. That kind of really captured like the 80s, 90s visual of, well, we didn't really have time to train them, so how do we shoot around it? And they shot around it.
Sure.
I felt like if that would have been a little bit better, that could have helped the movie.
Right.
But that part did bug me. But again, at the end of the day, I think Ryu was the only one that had. I think he did a spinning kick too.
Yeah, E. Honda kind of did a little bit of a 100 hand slap, but it was also kind of cheesy.
Yeah, it was up close. Yeah. But you could, if you knew the game, you're like, oh yeah,
okay. But actually, part of the reason I wanted to revisit this movie is because we have the new Street Fighter movie coming out this fall.
Yes,
and from the trailers, it does look a lot more faithful to the lore, and like it's definitely like really drawing on the games more for inspiration. Like I think in the trailer at one point you do see Ryu actually let a Hadouken loose.
He does.
So we're going to see the blue on the screen. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm also really looking forward to Blanca not looking like the Hulk. Like he looked like Lou Ferrigno Hulk in this, with like that bad green paint and that bad.
Do you know it wasn't
wig.
even really the actor? So the actor that played the friend, right?
Yeah,
I think his name was it Johnny?
I think they might have called him Birdie, which is another Street Fighter character, but I don't know. But anyway,
Johnny.
Might have been Johnny.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You can fact check us and leave a comment. But the actor that played the friend before he got transformed into Blanca, was one actor. The actor in the makeup, totally
actor.
Different one. And I guess the actor that played the friend in human form, in human form, he didn't know about that until the cast party before the movie was shot.
Yeah.
He ran into the guys like, oh, what role are you playing? Oh, I'm playing Blanca.
No way, I'm Blanca.
Yeah. Oh, what's going on here?
Yeah,
so that's how he found out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Should let him know,
But overall, I enjoyed the movie. I'm glad we picked this one. Going back to your point about the remake, which is coming out, I'm excited to see it.
I am too.
I think the best part about these kind of movies these days, you talk about Street Fighter, which looks to be good, and I'm sure they're going to try their very best to faithfully adapt it. The Mario movies, the Sonic movies.
Yeah.
They are all being done now by people our age, people that did grow up with these franchises, and they love it so much they don't want to tarnish it. Versus back in the 90s, they didn't grow up with it. They'd heard of it. They might have touched the source material for
like
15
Raul Julia's
minutes.
kids liked it, but not him.
Right. So I'm sure that's another reason why Raul did such a good job with this role, is because his kids are like, no. M. Bison's a badass, right?
Yeah.
But I really feel like nowadays, like these movies are in way better hands because they're not in it. They're in it for the money, but it's a passion project for them.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely seems like more passion, and it seems like some of these movies now are taking lessons from the old movies. Like I'm sure they rewatched this movie and like just like Blanca, for example, or Blanca. We're gonna do Blanca. But Ryu, Blanca. They saw that version. They're like, okay, we got to make him look way more accurate to the games, So yeah, I'm excited to see the next Street Fighter movie and see what happens. But I'm glad that you agreed to do this movie first, because I've been meaning to watch it forever. I guess we got to close out with our usual. How many Hadoukens out of 10 Hadoukens would you give this movie?
Oh man, I mean. Let's break it down a bit. I'd say story-wise, it's probably 4, 3.5.
Yeah, the story is very thin.
The action, probably like a 5. But just honestly, overall, I would give it a 6 out of 10. And I mean that with all 10. Love and respect.
Okay.
It was not a bad movie. It was not. I don't feel like I want that hour and a half back. I'm glad I spent the time watching. It was like a time capsule, right?
Oh yeah, I was going to say that earlier.
This is how 90s movies look.
Yeah.
And I'll dive into another point, but how about you? How many would you do?
Well, I guess I'm of two minds. I think as like an actual like quality film, it's pretty lacking.
Yes.
I would say it's probably like a 6 Hadoukens out of 10 if you're looking for an actual, like we were saying, Citizen Kane or Gone with the Wind type movie.
Yeah.
But if you want to plug your brain out, pull it out, maybe you're having a little bit of M. Bison's Kool-Aid juice with a little vodka in it or something. Or M. Bison comes to your house and gives you one of his nice cocktails like he treated Chun-Li to before he said the line about the Tuesday.
That did look
You're having a cut. It did look tasty. Then on that scale, it's like a 9 Hadouken. It's like, if you can embrace the cheese, it's a great film.
And there's not way too much cheese. It is in the beginning.
Yes.
But it does kind of straighten itself out and actually turns into a watchable action movie.
Agreed.
Nothing that's going to be unlike the
it's not going to be on IMDb's top 100. No, but it was enjoyable, and I think, like you said, it's a great time capsule where video game movies were then versus now. You know, and then now we're getting the more faithful adaptations that are making buku bucks because they're appealing to people like us too who grew up with these games. So I'm really excited to see what the next Street Fighter does with it.
So I always compared Street Fighter to a movie franchise that started 1 year prior. Do you know what franchise I'm talking about? They've made so far 7 movies.
7 movies. Okay. Let me know.
Still going strong. You don't have any guesses?
Are you going to say Mortal Kombat? I thought that was too obvious.
No, not Mortal Kombat. This has spawned video games on multiple consoles.
You're not talking Austin Powers, right? Austin Powers has pinball machines.
Austin Powers did not start in 1993.
No, you're right. It's not.
All right, let me drop some hints. Steven Spielberg directed. It's a movie about an island with some dinosaurs.
You're comparing this to E.T. the Extraterrestrial?
Oh my god.
Okay, Jurassic Park.
Yes, that movie came out 1 year prior.
Right, yes.
And that movie holds up.
Yeah.
I feel
obviously,
Street Fighter doesn't really hold up. Like, you have to look at it with 90s goggles.
Yeah, with 90s goggles. That's a good way of saying it.
Yeah,
that's when it's a 9 Hadouken out of 10 for me.
Yeah, if you watch, like, James Bond, for instance, if you go back and watch the Roger Moore ones
they're
or
a little
the
cheesy.
Sean Connery ones,
right.
It's like, these movies aren't that great, right? No offense to the Bond people out there.
You're going to get Bond attacked in the comments.
Shut up. I love James Bond. Just shut up. Don't even leave a comment.
I think you have the complete series box set, don't you?
And I love it.
So you're a fan. You're a real fan.
I'm a fan. So I can
don't bring your hate to Chris, okay?
Yeah,
he likes it.
Shut up. But like and subscribe.
I love that you just told our listeners to shut up.
Sorry,
listeners.
I love all of you, but don't come at me with, Sean Connery's the greatest. Yes, he was great for the time, but the movies that you have to put on that nostalgia glasses.
Right.
Jurassic Park, you don't, at least not yet.
No.
The Street Fighter movies, you do, but that's okay.
Right.
And I think if you do put those glasses on, you go, oh, that actually wasn't too bad.
Right, exactly. So. It's like I said, it's Street Fighter filtered through the lens of kind of like a brain dead action movie of the 90s. And I think that kind of that weird mesh works in the end, and it's enjoyable. So, grab an M. Bison cocktail and enjoy.
We should see if they actually have the M. Bison cocktail. Like, somebody made a recipe.
There's probably recipes for it. Yeah,
I'm gonna see.
Maybe let's have our theater whip us up an M. Bison cocktail when we go see Street Fighter 2.
Oh my gosh.
I'll have to make mine a little NA, a little light.
Hey, that's fine.
Mine, but still,
I'll just see what's in it and make it at home for way cheaper.
There you go.
So the great first episode.
This was a ton of fun. Again, I'm glad we started this. We had sort of our prequel 0 episode with the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So go back and listen to that if you haven't already. By now, it's streaming, so you got no excuse.
Yeah, it is. I was just talking about that.
It's already streaming.
So obviously we'll do another new Street Fighter movie, like you mentioned. We'll probably drop an episode right after it debuts. I'm excited for the new one. We can talk about that for a minute.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Not a lot of there's no Jean-Claude Van Damme, it seems, in this movie. I know there's a couple wrestlers in the movie.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes plays Guile. I think Roman Reigns, who's currently a champion for WWE, plays another one of the fighters.
That is correct. Roman Reigns is playing Akuma, which is going to be cool because I don't think Akuma existed in the games when this movie came out, the original. So
do we know how many fighters are going to be in the movie?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. I mean, like I'm looking at the cast list right now and I see like close to 15. So you never know who's hiding or who they're keeping under wraps.
Right.
And obviously Jason Momoa is playing Blanca.
Yeah.
So that'll be
which is a good fit.
I think that's a great fit. It seems like his latest mode is he wants to play monsters because he's also playing Lobo in the Supergirl movie this summer, and he's in the new Dune movie, and so he's got a good career going.
Yeah, he looks like he's having fun.
Type of character, and he's having fun. Yeah, the movie just in general does look like a lot of fun, so I'm excited.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. Sorry I told you all to shut up. So I guess if you're angry, you can leave a comment because comments help us.
Yes, we need comments. We need likes. We need hypes. And we're blown away so far by all the views and the love and everything you guys have shown us so far.
Yes, thank you.
So thank you so much from the bottom of our butt, Mash Dad hearts. And stay tuned. We got more in the new MASH movies sub-series, and we'll be bringing them a lot more at you.
We'll see you next time.
Fight!